Chris. So I'm Kristjan Kristjansson. I'm the CEO and co-founder of 50 Skills. Basically, what I want to talk about a little bit is just the big problem with hiring. One of those things is the big problem with hiring is finding the right people and finding the right people fast enough. So if you look at my background a little bit, been working with startups for some time now, and with one of our previous startups, a lot of times when we were looking for new people, some of the dialogues that I started with would start a similar way like this image right now. I would send a message to a friend when the company was hiring, and I'd tell them that we were looking for a certain person and try to convince them that there was an interesting jobs. And a lot of times people would respond, this looks great, I'm interested, and they would ask a bunch of questions like, what's the salary, what's the company culture, how are the different bosses, who would I be working for, etc., etc. And this was a great thing from our experience to do. But one of the problems was that I was one of the few ones that was doing it very actively, because for HR to incentivize and get all the people on board of the company is a tedious process. But when it does happen, it's often in a process where they would send an email to all employees, maybe pat on the back, try to explain it to them. So that's why we started this journey in trying to build a referral program. And it's basically the process I'm going to walk you through a little bit now, where somebody using the program would start by creating a job within our system, or whatever system they commonly use. Everyone within the company would be notified that there's a company now looking for a certain person. There's maybe a certain reward if they can find that person and they're hired. And they get that message on Facebook Workplace, which they use for internal communications, or Slack. And once that's happened, they'll start sending out messages similar to the one that I just showed you right before. But once we built that, we showed it to some of the customers in our alpha version that we launched, we felt that the customers wanted way more. When you're doing hires, it's not just the referrals. That might be 20, 30% of all of your hires, but it's never going to be enough. So they also want us to start building the option of posting it to multiple job boards. And that could be Indeed, that could be Monster, that could be ZipRecruiter, or some specific niche ones that you're used to using. It could also be the practice and help of advertising it on social media to make sure that whenever you have a job ad that you can post it out there and get everyone on board. And at the same time, they all wanted, whatever direction you would take, that all of this would be a great candidate experience. Basically, you get a branded career website to make sure whenever somebody clicks one of those things with one of those ads, that they'll know exactly what the job's about, why it's about that, and what kind of a workplace it is. And they also want to be able to manage all the applicants that come in a super smooth way. And finally, once you've found that candidate that you want to hire, you need to onboard them. And that can also be a tedious process. Picking the one you want to hire and put them into all of the 30 different systems that individual might be part of. And that's what 50 Skills is today, giving customers what they wanted. It's 4 things. We're helping them promote jobs. We're helping them to find the candidates that they need. We're helping them hire the right ones. And finally, we'll help them onboard them within all of their systems. Basically, a few visual examples to give you an idea. Posting the jobs is super easy to do in an interactive platform that we have that all the teams within the company can use that have access to it. As soon as you build that job, all of the employees are notified. They'll get a message just like this one, shown on Slack, Facebook Workplace, whatever channels that they're used to using. Those employees will go out there, put it into whatever social network that they love to use and use on a regular basis. And what they put out there, it's designed for it. Exactly the image, exactly the text that they want to see. So putting the right message out there with a custom design for your company and brand it for whatever job you have, that's exactly what they have today. Career website, branded, so once you get in there, it's exactly what you want the people to see once they get there. And finally, when you have the candidates actually coming in, it's an easy Kanban board style where you can drag and drop them between the stages that you want in your own recruiting process. Finally, make the right hire, and once you do that, onboard them into all the systems that you might have. And for different companies, that could be different things. It could be tens of different systems, 30 different systems, and a different profile for each and every one of them, except that in this case, it would take you a few seconds to do it. Finally, like any other system needs to have, a pretty good data overview. So getting really good, insightful, rich data analytic reports that can tell you exactly how you're doing, what you should perhaps do differently, what's working and what isn't. For example, see exactly what job boards are working, seeing if the candidates that are coming in are actually coming from your employees or social networks, and start to kind of pivot that into a way where your recruiting is improving. We're based out of Boston. We're based out of Iceland, Reykjavik as well with our team. We've been growing fast since we launched in October last year, with our annual recurring revenues doubling almost last month. We're live now with clients in about 6 countries, all over the world. And we need help with 3 things, which is basically just getting feedback from the group in here, getting help in sharing the message with the company, getting help with funding, which we're adding on to the company now. To date, the company is funded entirely by the team that's built it, and we need help with leads. So basically, if you can help with any of those things, please come talk to me or go to our website, 50skills.com, and talk to our live chat how you can possibly help. Thank you so much. Grow with us. Yeah.
What's the biggest difference between 50 Skills and something like Greenhouse that might be, more widely adopted right now?
No, it's a great question. I think the biggest difference is that we built this for companies that are using Slack and Facebook Workplace. So every single thing that you do within the system is designed for that interaction. So I don't know, just out of curiosity, like how many people in here have Facebook Workplace or Slack in their workplace? Can I see the hands raised? Maybe 34%, and that's growing every month by now. So companies that have that seed, they absolutely love it and make it part of their workflow. Anyone else?
Is your platform capturing the candidate feedback in terms of what the interviewers are saying about the people they're interviewing?
Yes, exactly. I mean, I could even, I'm not sure if I could log in here and just show you the thing live. Didn't have time for it. Not sure I can do that, Chris, maybe. But yes, you can. It's designed for the notes and feedback. It's a collaborative platform, so you can have all of your employees logged into it. Of course, you have different rights for the ones that have access to different things. And giving the feedback, you can do it in the system or within those messaging platforms that I talked about earlier. No, it's spelled, yeah, sorry. So I can show you right here, but if there are more questions, I can take those as well. Any questions? Okay, yeah, you got one there?
Are you guys measuring retention as well?
Retention in terms of?
Like if one source creates like a lot of leads but doesn't retain them very well in terms of a lot of people come in but they don't stay for very long.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's one of the big things about it. I mean, there's a bunch of research that shows that if you hire people through referrals, they actually have a less likelihood of churning. So companies that do have a high churn or afraid of churn, they love to do it because you have a mentor in the workplace that can help them out. But yes, when anyone leaves within the company, you can exactly see, like you will know exactly how long they stayed. That's different from other types of people working there.
That?
Sorry?
Are you guys measuring that?
We are, yes. Okay. And here's the platform, and just for the question that you had earlier, you can click a job, you can see how it looks like, you can drag candidates between them, click them. You're talking about the notes, so within the notes section right here, you can click it, you can see immediately like different notes that different teammates have written about. Any other questions? Yeah, so here, Chris.
Could you tell us more about how you distribute the jobs online?
Yes, exactly. So there's basically 2 ways of doing it. Like there are integrations that we're building, different types of job boards. So basically whenever you build a job, you want to get that message out there. One of those ways is through your own employees. Another is to post it on different job boards that are available. We're building integrations where the people that are using the system can do that with a click of a button. Sometimes there's a pricing for it if the job boards have a price, and sometimes it's free. It can also be in a different type of community websites. There's venture phases in here and different ones that are posting all those jobs, so we want to make sure the message gets to all of those as well. But if people do click on those websites, the system will actually track and tell them which ones are the ones where they're coming from and what's working for you as a company or not.
Nice.
So yeah. Yeah.
Do you integrate with LinkedIn?
Yes. I can. Yeah. I mean,
Tell us about it.
yeah. So I mean, it's both. Both in terms of you can have the job posted there if you want to thinking about the job post part. It's also about when candidates apply. Of course, you can connect your LinkedIn account, and there's a lot of interesting information that flows between there. So there are different ways that we use it, helping candidates fill out forms, those sorts of things when they apply. So there's a lot of opportunities in taking that forward as well. Yeah.
Yeah, is there a accountability check? Are you able to look at these candidates and make sure that what they're saying is legit as far as their resume goes, or?
Yeah, to some extent. So we are actually, we're basing this as a platform service, so we can also integrate with a lot of different background check services. So it depends on the type of industry, what kind of background checks you want to do. In some cases, there are, for example, like blockchain components that are verifying that the degree you have is actually from an Ivy League school, whatever that might be. So that's one thing that we're using in building the system. It's not live currently right now, but we're building a lot of things on top of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.